Hello everybody and welcome to Mark Goldbridge, That's Football. Everton beat Liverpool 2-0 at Anfield and Liverpool are inflicted with their fourth loss in a row at Anfield in the Premier League, and they've only scored one goal in their last 6 games at Anfield in the Premier League. These are stunning statistics, and whilst there is a bit of an overreaction in relation to Liverpool at the moment, what has to be taken into account is, yes, they've had injuries. Yes, there are personal issues around Jurgen Klopp that could be used as a reason. You know, losing his mother in this horrible COVID world that we live in, not being able to go to the funeral. This is real life and you know, this is going to have an impact on any human being. But bringing it back to the football, the injuries, yes, but it's still 11 against 11. There is a big issue at Liverpool at the moment. It's like they've been relentless for 3 years, unstoppable. I predicted they would win the league this year, and that's knowing that Pep's got a good team. I still thought Klopp, Liverpool, they would be better. They're the best team in England, probably the best team in the world going into this season. They're not now. They're getting turned over by Everton. They're getting turned over by Brighton, Burnley. They can't score against teams like Newcastle. They're struggling. They're really struggling. And, you know, they've still got Salah, Mane, Firmino. They've still got 2 of the best fullbacks in world football, and yet they're not creating goals. And that's the thing. I can understand them conceding goals, and that, you know, you can lose games when you're conceding goals, but I can't understand them not scoring goals, because you've still got 2 brilliant attacking fullbacks. You've still got your normal front 3. That's not just because you've got centre-backs out. And for me, I'm willing to say this. What does Thiago bring to Liverpool? I would have loved him at Manchester United in the summer, but what does he actually bring to Liverpool? I watch Liverpool and I think, you know, it's hilarious as a United fan that they're losing games, and it would be hilarious for a Liverpool fan to watch United lose because it's the biggest rivalry. But you go beyond that and you start thinking, bloody hell, all right, it's great that they're losing for us. We win tomorrow, we go 9 points ahead of them, great. But I'm now thinking almost the unthinkable that Liverpool might not get top 4, might not have Champions League football next year, which would be disastrous for them. I also start thinking, well, why are they losing so many games? What is going wrong with them? And I think the problem is their midfield is so slow, and Thiago is dictating the play from deep so slowly that they're not getting at teams quick enough. When I talk about United quite a lot, obviously, and I think the problem United have against the low block is we don't move the ball quick enough. And by the time we get the ball to the final third, it's so slow that everyone else is, you know, the opposition have sorted their defence out. Well, Liverpool have got that problem now. And Ancelotti set his team up so well today with 3 centre-backs, 2 wing-backs, 3 midfielders in front. They've deprived Liverpool of the opportunity to pass through them. But what Liverpool could have done, and would have done a year ago, is just overwhelm them. They'd get their full-backs high up the pitch. They'd get their midfield high up the pitch. They would overwhelm them. They would press them and energetically just suffocate them. They're not able to do that at the moment. They're not getting at defences before the defence can organise itself. And Everton today were very, very organised, and Liverpool just couldn't create chances. A few from the edge of the box, you know, a couple of saves you'd expect, you know, Liverpool to have a couple of chances maybe they should score, but I mean, realistically, over the last few years, you'd expect a lot more. So there are big problems with Liverpool, and I think it goes back to what I've said before. They are missing Van Dijk, Matip, Gomez. Then they've got to play midfielders like Henderson, who also got injured today, or Fabinho, who's not there today, having to play them at the back, and their midfield is not as strong. So not only are they not playing a high line because they're worried about their centre-backs, they've also lost that energy and drive in the midfield. And they've lost their identity, and the attackers and the fullbacks are not getting the ball in the positions they used to, which was when teams weren't organised, and it's costing them goals. And then they're conceding goals at the other end. So it's a bad recipe for Liverpool at the moment. And, you know, is it going to get any easier? Another player injured in Henderson. It's not like they've got loads of players coming back. The games keep coming thick and fast. So Liverpool are in problems. But what I would say is Liverpool fans need to be careful. I think Liverpool fans are like United fans. You know, great history, great fan base. To go after Klopp and start saying Klopp out, that would be stunning. If I saw a Liverpool fan doing that, this would be gutter fans, wouldn't it really? You know, he's won you the Champions League. He's won you the league. You've had a lot of issues this season. You can see those issues. He's not totally been backed really as well as he probably should have been. Yeah, it's, you know, this is not acceptable form for Liverpool, but you can sort of see how it's happening, and it's very hard to turn the tide at the moment. So if there are Liverpool fans saying Klopp out, I think they're very spoiled and not really realising what a great job he's done over the last 3 years. That would absolutely amaze me. I don't, even as a United fan, I wouldn't sit here and say any Liverpool fan should be saying Klopp out. I think that would be ridiculous. What I would say is, though, it might get to a situation where Klopp thinks he's had enough. You don't know what's going on privately. I don't think we're at that stage. I don't think he would do that now. But, is it the beginning of the end of Klopp's passion at Liverpool? I don't know. But what I would say is what I said during the game. If Van Dijk was fit and they could put their proper midfield out, I think you'd see a different Liverpool side overnight. And at the moment, they can't do that. And they're just going to have to trundle through. And I think for Liverpool now, if they can get top 4 and have a good Champions League run, that wouldn't be a bad situation from here. But it could get worse. They could end up out of the Champions League, without getting to the semi-finals. And they could end up out of the top 4, which would be a very bad season. So Liverpool need to come in close together and, get that siege mentality and just think, look, for us now, it's about 4th place. Anything better than that's great. And a good Champions League run. As for Everton, fantastic result for them. Ancelotti, never fails to amaze me what a great tactical coach he is. He came into that game. He was going to, you could see what he did. As I said, 3 centre-backs, 2 full-backs, 3 midfielders in front, 1 player up front and a number 10. Compact, get people behind the ball, keep the defensive line close to the midfield line so they can't pass through triangles or 1-2s. Always having spare men in the box to pick everybody up and the runners. There was no space for Liverpool and it was very, very good. And the perfect thing about the plan was that they got that goal early. So then they had not only a 0-0 to protect, but a 1-0. And then on the break with Calvert-Lewin off the bench. Perfect performance from Everton. And interestingly, it puts Everton level with Liverpool on 40 points with a game in hand. Now, I don't think Everton can get top 4, but they're having a very good season. And, they lost to Fulham last week, but he doesn't have great depth, Ancelotti. Allen's been out for a long time. Calvert-Lewin was missing midweek against Man City. When they lose 2 or 3 of their good players, and Yerry Mina's injured as well, you see a big difference. And I think if Everton are serious about building something there, and they do have money, they need to keep the squad they've got and add 2 or 3 more players in the summer so that next season, if they do lose a couple of players injured, they've got that squad depth that they don't have at the moment. But that's a massive win for Everton, probably going to massively be overshadowed by the issues at Liverpool. There are issues at Liverpool, and I think, as I said, anyone who's saying Klopp out as a Liverpool fan is a fool, but to not realise there's an issue at Liverpool, but to know what the issue is, and as an outsider, the issue is your midfield is too slow, and Thiago does not suit Liverpool. Liverpool should be a high-tempo, high-up-the-pitch team. They've become this slow, laboured team that by the time they get to the edge of the box, everyone's organised, and that's their problem. Thanks for watching. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe if you're new, bottom right-hand corner, and I'll speak to you on the next one.